now we're going to start working on Audrey here. And the first thing I'm going to do is add the ribbon that I want to be her tag, because that's what I want to do right now. So I didn't measure that first one, and I'm just going to take it through the hole here. I usually use my tweezers for this. My desk is such a mess. Oh, here they are. So I just push that through. I want to hope that it's even. And then I'm just going to dab some hot glue right at the top there and push that over. And then I'm going to take this pretty lace here and cut it. And I got this from Daiso. The other one I think I was gifted, and I don't remember by who. And then I'm just going to, again, push that through. And then kind of run it through the middle of this one so that the tassel is really cute. And then hold it like so. And then there is our tag part of the tag. So now let's get Audrey dressed, and how I'm doing her is going to be very, very dimensional and very detailed. So the first thing I'm going to pop on her are her shoes. And I'm using two different colors to dress Audrey up here, which we really could use more. We could do like a green too, because there's a green and an orange in the tag, but I think it's just safe to have blue. So for sure I'm gonna cut her shirt off, and this is the fun part about paper piecing here, is you just cut off what you want and you put it on her. So now I'm gonna start to dress her up and layer her up. Okay, so she's gonna have a blue top. She's gonna have blue shoes, and then I want this bottom part of her dress here to be blue. So what I already did was cut off the blue dress, cut off portions of it here, and I'm gonna raise this with, of course, some foam tape. So I'm going to grab two squares, and I'm going to cut them in half and lay them on the bottom part of the dress. You could use squares. That's what I think I'm going to end up going back and doing, and using just little squares in the dress part, in the bottom part of the pleats, like that, instead of one big chunk, but I already put that down. So I'm gonna leave him alone, and then I'll put one in the middle here. Now I'm gonna raise every other one on here, so I'm gonna use that there and that there, and you're just applying this wherever you want the dress to be raised. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. So every other one of her pleats is going to be raised. Okay, so now that I have all the foam tape down, this is what it looks like. This will be raised, the whole bottom of her dress will be raised, this will be raised, and this will be raised. And I need another little piece right there. try not to waste any tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the very bottom part of her dress. So I'm going to take off the backing of the foam tape here, dimensional foam tape. Again, just to reinforce that it stays, I'm just going to dab some hot glue right on top, and then I'm going to lay this right on top, and I ended up burning my other finger. Okay, so now that we know that that's going like that, I'm going to take her belt, and I'm going to cover this up, but just so that the piece that I use has a backing other than white, I'm going to lay this down with just hot glue, like so. I know Audrey looks a little funny right now. Let's zoom in here so you guys can kind of see where I'm going. So now I'm going to cut each piece. So each pleat in the dress, I'm going to cut. Once I'm done cutting it, I will lay it down where it goes. So this one is going to be popped up. It's going to lay here. But before I lay the popped up pieces, I'm going to lay the flat pieces, because let's just face it, it's easy to lay flat and then put your dimensional pieces. So this piece is going to be flat with just glue. So I'm going to lay that down like that. And then I'll take the dimensional piece that goes right next to it and lay it down. And I just kind of give the hot glue a minute to adhere itself. Okay. And then this end piece here is going to be a flat piece on this end part of her dress. So I'm going to lay that down. And then not this piece, but this piece right here in the middle is flat as well. So we're going to lay that down next. And you don't have to do this. You can just simply pop the whole pink part of her skirt up, but I really like the way my last tag came out, and I did it like this. So now I'm going to add the middle piece here, and it's going to be popped up. So I'm going to put some glue, and then just lay this piece here. And then take the last dimensional piece and lay it down. And see how there's no foam down here at the bottom part of the dress? There should be, but it's okay because the two foams at the top pop it up just fine. Okay. So right now we're looking at something like this, okay? So you guys can kind of see what I was doing and talking about. So Audrey is fully dressed. You can add little extras, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that, to really embellish your tags and make them beautiful, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach in here and grab a little acrylic bow. I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they are in the nail section. With my tweezers, I'm just going to grab an all pink one, grab some hot glue, and that is Audrey's belt. You can add these on their shoes and their hair. They're great, and they come in different colors. So you see that? That is her belt. Okay. They also come with jewelry. Prima sells like rhinestone necklaces and bracelets for them. I'm not going to use that for this tag, but that is an option for you. So I'm going to move all of the adhesives into the trash can. And here we go. So we have Audrey, and she's pretty much all dressed up. I don't know if I'm going to put her hat on or not, but she's nice and dimensional. So this is her tag base, and you can kind of see how she looks on her tag base. I wanted to use candy colors on her. Yeah. So now I'm going to figure out where I want to place everything around her. If the glue's still hot, I try to take it off of the parts that show, because sometimes you can't cover those up really easy. And the back of this tag got dirty, but that's okay. Okay, so now that we have Audrey all laid down, the sucker behind her, we can still start, we still want to keep building up this tag. So I think I'm going to have a bunch of, like this bag of candy bears. They're candy bears, not gummy bears. Candy bears kind of just sit by her foot. And then I'm going to have like these flat little candies, like kind of like just falling down. I think that's cute. So I'm going to take this one here and kind of like put it on that part there, so it looks like there's just candies kind of everywhere. And then let's see if I can play with how to lay these little, see, had I thought about it, I'd have laid these and then glued her feet down and then put the candy bears, but they're not gonna go through. So I'm just gonna lay some flat jelly beans down at her feet here. And there we go. Okay, so now that we kind of have this corner here built up, you want to start focusing on a different area of the tag to balance it out. So I'm going to start looking up here for what I want to put. And I actually know what I want to put. I want to take a cut apart from a different paper pad, and I want to put a cut apart up there. So I'm going to cut this out really quick. Okay, so here's the cut apart that I cut out. And I'm going to just snip the corner, make it look more of how I want it to look. And I'm going to put that there on the tag. So now that I have that, I want to embellish that with some candies. So I'm going to put this little yellow jelly bean kind of in the corner there. Let's see, I'll put this little flat guy right here. Put him in like this corner. And then don't want the suckers looking like they're coming out of her head. Sucker. And I'll put it here. Okay. So now we've got kind of like the top part kind of built up as well. Okay, so now we're going to start building our candy cluster. And what I mean is this area right here. I'm going to use some flowers, some paper flowers, and I don't remember where I got these, so forgive me, but I am going to cut them off the wire. I'm going to do these pink ones and then 3 of these white ones. And I'm not sure I'm going to use them all, but I'm going to cut those off. And then I have some little pink roses that I picked up from downtown LA. And I most likely am going to use all 3 of these because they're small. They're little. They're like gap fillers. Okay. So, now I'm going to kind of just play with where the placement's going to be. Because you don't want to cover up the candies, you know. So I'm going to place this white one here. And I'm just applying some hot glue to the back of the flower and then laying the flower kind of on its side so that the flower pops up and out. I always put sprays in my clusters, and I get mine from the wedding section at Hobby Lobby, and I probably actually need to go and get some more, but yeah. So there we go, we'll put that there. And I'm gonna put this pink one down, kind of like that. And then you do want to check that you're not gluing your tag down. I kind of pull mine over the edge so when you look at it, there's not big glue dabs that you can see in there. And then let's go ahead and put a baby one. And yeah, I'm just gonna smush down the wire on this one. Add a little bit of glue and kind of push that under the cluster and hold. So you're just making a flower cluster down the side of your candy tag. And I know flowers don't go with everything, but I do try to put a flower or some type of flower on each of my tags. That's just me and what I like to do. Doesn't mean you have to do it or like to do it. Just something I like to do with my clusters on my tags. Now remember, we've got little candies kind of falling everywhere. So I'm going to take this guy and let him fall from over here so that I can fill this spot here with the flower. I'm trying to fix it. That one doesn't want to really fix for me. So I'm going to take this one that looks kind of like it's shaped in the way I want to put it down. Trying to move those glue strands. And I'm just going to set that down in there like so. And the fun thing about clusters is you can include whatever you want in the clusters. So I'm going to take this dimensional sticker here. Find a little groove somewhere and have the candy kind of popping out of the cluster there. See how that happens? Just kind of like popping out. We can probably get one. And you can always cut the sticker so that it looks like, you know, got candy coming out your clusters, girl. And I don't like that gap right there. So I'm going to take the greenery off. And let me show you where I'm talking about. This gap right here. And I'm just going to fill that with a flower. Okay, so this is what our tag looks like right about now. And then I'm going to take a flower, kind of balance it out, you know. You got flowers over here, you want some on this side of the tag as well. I just don't like to put the flowers too close to the heads of the dolls just because you don't want it looking like, you know, flowers on her head. And I want enough of the lollipop sticking out there. So I'm going to glue that like that, and that's what our tag looks like. And like I said, we didn't use all 3 pink ones, you know, and you don't have to. I'm gonna put another candy so this space doesn't look so empty. And there it is. There is our dimensional tag, and I think this is so super cute. I'm just absolutely in love with how it turned out. Feel free to add some glitters and all that kind of stuff onto her dress and really make it pop. I think that's what I'm going to do. And thank you guys so much for watching my 2-part series. I hope it really helped you guys learn how to build these tags and, you know, use what you have on hand. And I'm sure you'll get some really beautiful tags. So until next time, Crafty Beauties, keep crafting your hearts away. Bye-bye.